Yes, it has happened, and I don't understand how we lost this game. Like, honestly, I was not expecting us to lose this. In fact, I knew it was not going to be an easy game because Crystal Palace has performed really well last season. And going into this season, despite the fact that there is talk about them losing Eze, losing Gueye, losing Mateta, at this very moment for this particular game, all of them were very much available for it. So we knew we were not facing kids. We knew this is not just an ordinary preseason game. For me, I don't count it as a preseason game. And if you are out there thinking, oh, it's not a serious game, there is nothing much to lose, let me tell you, we lost something in this game. We lost and we have to deal with it because this shouldn't be happening. This is unbelievable. We were supposed to win this from the first half of the game. In fact, after that first 45 minutes, if everything worked out properly, we should have won the game there. But what happened? We ended up drawing the game and we got into penalty. What a mess that was. That penalty shootout. God, this is, I mean, the PSG penalty shootout was actually very bad, but this is the worst I've seen as a Liverpool fan since recent years. This is absolutely the worst penalty shootout that I've seen. Oh my God. How are we starting this season like this, man? And I don't want to hear anyone saying that you are overreacting about this. There is no overreaction here. There is purely no overreaction. We got it wrong today. And everything started going wrong from the moment we removed Ekitike from that forward line. Immediately he left that forward line, Crystal Palace bounced back. They started pressing massively. And before you know it, they were able to get a goal. In fact, let's not forget the fact that they almost got an additional penalty before the end of the 90th minute. Yes, this could have even been 3-2. We could have lost in open play. Why? After having a very fabulous first half, this really shouldn't be happening. And that is why for today's game, I would take it as a very serious reality check for all of us. Everyone is saying Liverpool are already champions. We're already going to win it. We are running away with the league. Don't let them deceive you. We are not running away with any league. Yeah, we've made very good signings. We made very good addition to the squad. We've been able to let go of people that obviously are not going to get into the team. And of course, we are still going to make additional signings. I understand all that thing. But don't let anyone kid you. We are not running away with anything. This is already an eye-opener about what could potentially happen next season. Of course, I'm still very optimistic about our performance. I'm not going to take this too seriously, but as serious as it comes, what I saw today is exactly the same thing that every other person out there saw today. Defensively, we are still weak. Yes, we are still weak defensively and we need centre back. I'm not even joking. Of course, today, Van Dijk and Konate played. They are two of our best centre backs currently, but we don't have any backup for any of them. So, assuming any of them gets injured, what are we going to do? We will be in very deep shit. Today now, in the game against Crystal Palace, in the last 5 minutes of the game, Gueye picked up an injury, which, based on his body language, is not a serious injury. But out of precaution, they had to take him off. And I know we are very serious about getting him. So, if we are going to be serious about that, let's seriously go on the hunt and get Gueye so that he will fit into this squad. And honestly, I'm not even sure if one centre-back signing is enough to make us ready for next season. Additionally, everybody is saying that Ekitike is playing really well. So do we really need Isak? I'm one of those people that thought about that. But if you think about it properly, you notice that at the moment, Nunes already left. Chiesa could be leaving. Even if Chiesa is not leaving, I'm not taking him seriously because what happened last season? How many games was he able to play? He couldn't really do anything for us. He was not even fit to start games for us. That is why, regardless of how good Ekitike is, regardless of how solid and the potential he has, we need Isak in this squad. In fact, let me change it. We need additional forward players in that squad. It doesn't have to be Isak. Yes, if we get Isak, I will be over the moon. But for the amount of money they are asking for, and also for the number of signings we've made this season, I mean this window here, we still need additions in that particular squad, in that forward line, we need at least one, with the assumption that Rio is going to step up and play a couple of games for us next season. So before I get into the key takeaways from this particular game, let's quickly run through the game. In the first half of the game, starting from the team news, Gravenberch and Tsimikas were not available for this particular game. On the side of Tsimikas, I heard that there is already interest from other clubs, including Nottingham Forest. Left for me, I would prefer Tsimikas to go to a place where I will still have a chance to see him once in a while, watch him play. If he moves over to any other league, Italian league, I'm almost certain that I may not watch him play again. But if he moves over to the likes of Nottingham Forest, yeah, there will be opportunities to watch him play in the league. So I'm hoping Tsimikas will get that move to Nottingham Forest. So the only reason why he wasn't in the squad today is because talks are already going on. On the side of Gravenberch, he wasn't in the squad today and he was missed. Yes. In that second half, you could notice that we were missing that defensive midfielder's edge. Endo stepped into there today, but today wasn't just his game. For that last 20 minutes that he played, 25 minutes, he was just invisible right there. So Gravenberch is fully missed in today's game. And it's so funny because we know he's not even going to be there for our first game of the season, which will be playing on Friday because of the booking he picked up in our final game of last season. And before we get into these uninspiring results, a big shout out to Gravenberch and his family. Big congratulations to them, because the reason he couldn't be in today's squad is because his lady just gave birth before the match, basically yesterday, and we are playing a game today. So that's why he wasn't available for the squad today. And we already know that Virgil, Bradley, and even Allison were not available for the friendly game we played, the double-header friendly we played in Anfield just a few days ago. But in this game, each of them were available for it. We basically had a lineup of Allison, Van Dijk, Frimpong, and Kekes running things in that fullback position. Then in the midfield, we had Zobo, Elliott, and Vets. Then in the attacking position, that's where we had Cody Gakpo, Ekitike, and Salah. This particular lineup is very close to our strongest lineup. So if we are talking of the game we'll be playing on Friday, the lineup you see there is not going to be so different from this particular one we just saw. And this is how it ended up. Well, let's not be carried away, because the first half was actually a very good half of the game. We played really well in that first half. In fact, that's why I said in the beginning of the video that how did we end up losing this game like this? If you watch everything we played in the first half, you would be convinced that we'll be winning this without even considering any goal. Within the first 5 minutes, that was when we got a very good link up between Florian Wirtz and Ekitike. And Ekitike just showed exactly what he's made of. We've already seen it in preseason, but in today's game, he showed it again. This is what I'm made of. This is what you are going to get from me. I'm going to score loads of goals. I'm going to drift in. I'm going to take on people. I'm going to protect the ball. We saw all of these things from him, and that is how he got that first goal in the 4th minute. Yes, and Crystal Palace just got the equalizer from a penalty. The way we consider that penalty is actually very funny. It's funny now, but when the season starts, it's not going to be funny, especially if we end up dropping points because of that type of penalty. Van Dijk, God, it's very hard to say something uninspiring about Van Dijk because we know him. We know what he's capable of doing. But for that particular moment, when he made that tackle, it's not something we see from him all the time. So I'm just going to give it a pass for now. But we consider that penalty. Mateta stepped up and he scored. We know him. When it comes to chances like this, he doesn't mess around with it. He scored. But him scoring that equalizer did not really change anything in that game. As far as I'm concerned, while watching the game, seeing that they have scored, it still felt like, that is a fluke. We are going to score more. Even if they scored 2 goals in that first half, I would have been 2 goals. Don't worry, we are going to come back. We are going to win this based on how we are performing. And just like that, in the 20th minute, we got another goal, a very fabulous goal from Frimpong. So basically, in that first half of the game, all the goals we got and even the assist that came with it is through the hard work of our new signings. Talking about Vets. Vets is the one that gave assist for the first goal that was scored by Ekitike, followed by the goal that was scored by Frimpong. Very fabulous goal. If anyone at the end of that halftime told me that we are going to score only 2 goals in this game, I will call the person a joker. Seriously, yeah. If you said we are going to score only 2 goals in this particular game, I will not take you seriously. But that's just what ended up happening. And the problem started for us the moment we took off Ekitike. That was it. Immediately he left that attacking line, you could see Crystal Palace started attacking, because they just noticed that this guy has been causing a lot of problem for them, and now he's no longer there. So what happened? Exactly what you expected to happen. They pushed back, they pressed on. Now the worst part of him being taken off at that time is that he was taken off and there is basically no number 9 to play at that point. And that is how we just ended up conceding the second goal from one of the series of attack that Crystal Palace has been pushing forward, because they made a couple of really good attack and they posed a very good attacking threat. Alisson himself, if not because of the way the game ended up, Alisson deserves his flowers. He performed really well. I'm not even kidding. He pulled a lot of really decent saves, but there is just a limited number of saves you could make in a game. When Crystal Palace tried a couple of times, they were able to get a goal from one of those attempts, and that is how we ended up with a 2-2 score by the 90th minute of the game, and it went straight to penalty. Even in that penalty, when we all understand that penalty is a 50-50 chance, I strongly believed, I was like, yo, we still have 80% chance of winning this. But what happened? Salah stepped up, and I was even happy that, it's good to see Salah stepping up to take the first penalty, because he will boost the confidence of these players. And I know that Salah is one of those players that every season, once in a while, he steps up and misses a penalty. But we saw it in the double-header game that we played against Bilbao in Anfield just a few days ago. So the fact that he already missed that one, I was fully convinced that there is no way he's missing this. He missed this particular one. Our very first penalty, he missed. It was not even on target. He basically just shot out wide. He missed. Our next penalty by Maka. Oh my God. The McAllister I know, he barely misses penalty. In fact, when McAllister was coming into Liverpool a few years ago, I was like, is he going to take on the penalty duties? Because I saw him play penalties both for Argentina, his country, and for his former club Brighton. But he stepped in today. That was a very weak penalty. He missed. Actually, it was saved. Let me give flowers to Henderson. Dean Henderson, the goalkeeper of Crystal Palace. He really stepped up today. I'm not even kidding. During the game and even in this penalty shootout, but he deserves his flowers because he made really good saves. He saved the penalty from Maka. He saved Javier's penalty. So after playing 5 penalties, we were able to score only 2. We scored 2. Cody Gakpo scored his goal. Zobo scored his goal. But see, the fact that Cody Gakpo scored his penalty doesn't mean we are going to overlook the type of game he had. He had a very poor game. He had a very, very poor game. He could not beat anyone. He tried to dribble a couple of times. He tried to cut in, but it was not working. None of those things were working. That is why when we made our first substitution and we removed the Ekitike, I was genuinely hoping that at least we will bring in Rio. I mean, even if you are going to take off Ekitike, bring in Rio, play him in Gakpo's position, then push Gakpo into the number 9 position. That would have been the perfect solution to our problem, so that Rio will maintain that attacking threat from the left-hand side. Then on the right-hand side, Salah will still be doing his thing with Frimpong, but that didn't happen. So there are several lessons to learn from this particular thing. I really hope, our coach is a tactician. So I'm very sure he's seeing what is happening. And now, let's talk about the key takeaways from this game. I'm just going to run through them because I've probably talked about a couple of them in these few minutes that I've spoken so far in the video. The first is Cody Gakpo and Rio. Yes, I was really expecting Rio to come in. Like, if this is how Gakpo is going to perform for the massive part of this season, then I strongly believe that Rio should get opportunities to step into that position. Or if we are not ready to risk a young Rio in that position, if we are not ready to do it, let's go and get someone that will play in that position for us. It's as simple as that. If we are saying Rio is too young, then we have to get someone that is not too young, someone that is far more experienced that will play in that position. The next one is about Mohamed Salah. The way it ended up, I mean, despite the fact that at the end of the first half, Mohamed Salah is the one that had the fewest touch out of everyone in the pitch from both sides of the field. I think as of 30-40 minutes, he was having just 6 touches in the game. But it's not something I read too much into because we know more. We understand more. We know what he's capable of doing. Besides, I basically see it as him trying to get used to the new players he's playing with and also get perfect link up with Frimpong in that attacking position. Because one thing we knew about Mohamed Salah when he first came into Liverpool, his game and the way he bullies defender is with his speed. Now, at this very age, that speed is no longer at a very high side, but he's lucky now to have a player in that wing with him who is very fast, both in attacking wise and also defensively. So, we even saw it today a couple of times. Immediately Mo held the ball, you could see that Frimpong is already ahead. So, he had a couple of times where he delayed in pushing that pass forward to Frimpong. But like I said, I'm not going to make a case about it today, not in today's game. I'm very sure that by the time these guys play a couple of games together, their link-up play would be electric. And by then, despite the fact that we've watched in recent seasons where we basically create the ball from that Mohamed Salah's angle, we could now see a situation where Salah wouldn't have to do all the heavy lifting in terms of creating chances for us. He will still have his moment where he would have to work together with Frimpong or Bradley, whoever is working with at that right hand side, to create chances. Then Vets is still doing his thing from the middle behind the 3 forward line. Then on the left, we have Cody Gakpo, Rio, or whoever we are going to buy in that position doing their thing with Kekes in that line. So whatever happened with Mo today is not something I take too seriously, especially during the game. But when it comes to his penalty shootouts, I'm not worried, but he needs to work on it, honestly. So the next one is about the Ekitike and Vets link up. Their link up is fabulous. In fact, the link up between the two of them is one of the best things that happened in this particular game. This is except the fact that they were able to create very decent and fast goal in the first 4 minutes of the game. That aside, their link up was really massive. Like, they tried a couple of things. Some of the things they tried could not even connect really well, but you could see it that when these guys play together for a couple of games, 5 games, 10 games, you are going to see that massive impact in terms of their link-up play. And it's also very interesting to see that despite the fact that Ekitike is this very tall player, his height is not even a disadvantage in any way because he still moves very fast. He can dribble, he can run with the ball, and he also uses that height as an advantage to bully defenders. So it's good that we have someone like that. Players that are that tall are not usually very technical, but for someone like Ekitike, based on what we saw in this game and even in the previous game, he's as technical as they come, and we're happy to have him in the squad. So the fullbacks today, talking about Frimpong and Kekes, for that first half, in fact, it seems like everyone that performed well basically performed well in the first half. If you come into the second half, I can't really think of anyone that's had a very good performance except someone like Alisson. Alisson is the only good news in the second half of the game. But for that first half, we saw a very bright sign of potential in terms of the fullback. Kekes, Frimpong. Two of them were really massive today, especially in the first half. Even in the second half, there was a moment when Keke made a very good clearance, and I was like, yeah, this is why we have him in the squad. That clearance is just massive, and his reaction to it also shows that he's there for it. He enjoys doing that clearance. So that's it. This wasn't what I was expecting going into this game, but it has already happened. And this is a wake-up call for all of us. Before the season starts properly, before the transfer window ends, whatever needs to be done, let's go and do it. And how the fuck did we lose this game? I mean, I can't stop asking this same question. How did we lose it? Well, that's it on this one. This is the perfect time to inform you guys. Connect to the channel, stay in touch with the channel. We are going to grow. We are just starting. In fact, we are about to get into our first footballing season, starting from the game that will be played on Friday. So stay in touch. Let's do this. See you on the next one.